Jumbo! Hello everybody and welcome to this lovely Saturday, and I hope your year has been great so far, and we're still in January, just for you, just for those of you who are still wondering, we're still in January, and today we basically just want to walk down or to walk up that lane where we show you the different kind of cameras that you can be using for shooting, especially for those of you who are more interested in cinematic kind of production, and you want to maybe shoot documentary. You basically just want to shoot something way above the normal events. You want to now go into straight commercial. Then today is your day. I hope you're there. I hope you've got your pen and paper, because we have got Marlon, and he's going to help us just try to walk us through the two different cameras that are right now flaming hot in the market. You know, I'm talking about Blackmagic, and I'm talking about Canon C70. For those of you who don't know about C70 was actually released last year, so it's that hot. It's that hot in the market, and definitely it has got among the best specs that you are looking for. So yeah, so let's wait and see how the interview goes, and hopefully you can get to decide which camera best fits, because it's not really a battle of camera and camera. It's more of what camera specs will work for you as a production person, or as a client, or as a communications manager, or even as a film producer, filmmaker. So let's dive and get right into it. So Marlon, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah, so today we have got two cameras, and probably you can just walk us through why is this camera called cinematic and the others are just called video cameras. Yeah.
First of all, it's a pleasure. I hope you're good today.
I'm good.
Shake your hand. So what we have here are cinematic cameras.
Yeah.
The term comes from the cameras being able to give you cinematic shots.
Okay.
In layman's terms, or in terms of people who shoot,
Yeah.
a cinematic camera is able to shoot at 4K, which is a good and a high resolution, to where your image quality is just right. It's not pixelated, and like it can be like it's not diminished. I don't know if you know the other cameras that are not cinematic. You can't be able to get 4K when you're shooting.
Yeah.
Which is a downer as compared to getting a cinematic and doing what you want, and not having to think that you faltered, and things like shooting at 120 FPS at 4K, which is something you wouldn't get at the normal camera.
Wait, what do you mean? What is 120 FPS? What does the FPS stand for?
Frames per second.
Frames per second.
Yeah.
So that means you're shooting really clean slow-mo.
Really clean. Like you can, it's slow-mo.
I'm loving the excitement that just came over your face here. So do both cameras do that?
Both of them do that.
120 frames per second.
120 frames per second.
Now, question. Just so that we can all understand and we are all on the same page.
Yeah.
If you're shooting at 120 frames per second, are you still able to make it fast enough in case let's say I'm shooting a place, let's say a fight scene. Let's say I'm shooting a fight scene, okay?
Okay.
And I want to have the advantage of either, I haven't decided as a producer, I haven't decided whether I want to shoot it in slow-mo or I want it in fast action. If I shoot it at 120 frames per second, can I still get it in normal action speed?
Yeah. Okay. So you know how frame rates work is the normal frame rate, like the normal shooting frame rate is 24 frames per second.
Okay.
So it means that you're getting 24 frames in 1 second.
Okay.
It's like a combination of 24 photos in. But it's so fast that 24 images are passed in 1 second. So it moves, it creates motion now.
Okay.
So imagine you have 24, that's the normal one.
Yeah.
So imagine if you have 120.
Within the same time?
Within the same time.
Okay.
So it means you can either extrapolate, make the video longer, that it's slow, or tone it down. The length of the video will be shorter, but now it's at normal speed.
Okay. Okay. So if it means if the normal video is 24 frames, and here you're shooting at 120 frames per second, that means that even the storage of this is well,
You have to have more space.
Six times bigger than the
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Good. So let's dive into the cameras. We have got the Blackmagic. This is the 4K. This is a 4K camera. And then we have got the C70.
The C70.
The Canon C70.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably you can just run us through the features that camera has.
The C70. The first thing you notice about the camera is the builds. It's quite sturdy, as I'd like to say. It's mostly meant for videos. Like you won't find, you won't find the normal kind of parameters you find on a DSLR with this camera.
Okay.
Like the shooting modes, the way you have photography modes, like portrait modes. Those are the things you can't find. It's mainly, its main purpose is meant to like shoot
for video. Yeah. You cannot take photos with this.
You can take photos.
You can take photos with
this. You can take screenshots.
You can do. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So just walk us through the.
So what you have is you have the ability to play or tweak the audio levels.
Okay.
So you're recording. You actually have the power to record audio directly from the camera.
Oh.
And adjust the gains, adjust the pickup patterns. Adjust So that's one thing.
So you have got how many inputs do you have on the camera?
You have two.
You have two.
Okay. The phone on the left side of the camera. You have the first input, which is for sound, and the second.
You can demonstrate so that you can get a more detailed shot of that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what you have.
Oh, so this is the first.
That's the first input.
That's the first input.
Yeah.
And then we also have the second input.
Yeah.
So for sound. So these are the mini XLR.
The mini XLRs.
Okay. And then I saw at the back you have got the levels, so you can set the levels.
Yes, you can. Let me just switch it so that the camera can also see.
Yeah.
You also have a display, I don't know, the LCD display, which is rather mobile.
Yeah.
Like, compared to the Blackmagic.
At least the articulating screen.
Yeah. Articulating, that's how hard was. For that one. So this is what the parameters which you use to tweak or maintain or adjust your audio levels if you want. If you move over to the side, you have inbuilt ND filters, which negates the need for you to keep on adjusting.
You know, as you're talking, I'm looking at, probably can just do, let me just remove the power.
Probably can just do?
Well, because since you're there, we may as well then just be comparing them side to side, right? Okay, so like on the Blackmagic, you only have got one sound input. Yeah, and then normal HDMI.
Yeah.
But then now you have got, we have got a microphone option. Okay, other than the XLR, we have got a microphone option, and we also have got a headphone option. So you can actually be listening in
as you record.
Yeah. So here you just have an XLR, and then you have a normal jack.
That's it.
But you don't have controls of, let's see, I think the screen is fixed.
The screen is fixed?
Yep, the screen is fixed. Yeah, the screen is actually fixed. So, but it's a bigger screen.
That's a bigger screen. That's what I was waiting for. It's a bigger screen. It's like a monitor.
Yeah, actually it is a monitor.
So
it's like a 5-inch
monitor. We can say like it's not movable, but
yes.
Back to what I was saying. Oh, we also have a HDMI output right there.
Okay.
We have a remote
control
output there. We have the headphone, and we also have the mic together with the USB. And so all the other,
maybe like more like that.
No. So as I was saying, as you look towards this side, we have ND filters, which negate the you having to mount like cut-offs on top of your lens. You have the indicators go up to like 10 stops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can literally shoot.
You can literally shoot
12.
the sun.
Yeah. Okay. And you won't it won't be overexposed, or your whites won't be overexposed. What's the word? The whites exploding whites or something. Something the whites.
I think so. Yeah. Overexposed. Just was for me.
Yeah. So that's a plus. That's a really good plus.
Yeah.
You will being able to shoot outside, and combine that with the
good lens.
With a good lens.
Yeah.
That's all you can. Like I am at lots of words for this camera. It's a really dope-ass camera. So yeah, that's kind of okay. That, as we were saying, the features that you find outside the camera physically, that's kind of it mostly. It has a chunky, bulky camera battery at the back, which is okay. Let's just say that the build is kind of, let's say it's heavy. It's hefty, like.
But then you said it shoots at 4K.
Yes, it does.
Because even this one shoots at 4K. Even the Blackmagic shoots at 4K.
Yeah.
And I think, well, what I'd say probably in terms of the physical size and how you handle is, this is more portable. This is more. This is kind of more handy, lighter. As compared to this, because I feel like this is a little bit okay.
It's heavy. Yeah.
It is heavy.
Yeah.
And Blackmagic for the longest time they have been known to actually produce like very cinematic cameras over a very long time.
Yeah.
So I think that where and how Canon is coming up, it's really trying to get into
making cinematic.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction they're heading in.
Yeah. Because if you look at the cameras that they are right now releasing, they started with cameras that can shoot, especially now when now they moved into, they started the C series, the cinematic series. They did the 100, then they did the 200, then the 300, then the 500. Oh, the 500! Wow. Yeah. Now they did 70. So I'm like, what next? Plus, now that they've actually decided to go, because from the 500, which is like really chunky, they've come down to this kind, to create something more portable, something light. Something
that looking like what?
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid of the C100s, the C and the DSLR.
Precisely. Yeah. So it's a really good place to see that now they are actually, the R&D department is actually doing more of trying to gel what people want with what the competitors are actually doing. Okay. So they are basically eating from both markets. Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing I like about this is that somehow it will cheat your audience that you're playing it. This is like really low key. Kenyans, let me talk to Kenyans. Fellow Kenyans, okay. Just because somebody has got huge equipment or is coming with a very huge equipment to your event, okay, that doesn't mean that he's actually going to shoot better as compared to somebody who's coming with something slightly less. Okay. We're talking about and comparing these two cameras, the C70 and the Blackmagic 4K. Okay. So we're just about to ask you, like when you're looking for a camera, and there are quite a number of things that you like to have, especially if you're shooting a high-end production. There are things and how the output, the final output gets.
Yeah. So what I look for is the type of scene styles I have, or the shooting dogs I have to work with the camera.
Okay.
Like I'd prefer a camera that gives me more room. If I'm shooting RAW, which is the most preferable way to shoot, so that it gives you leeway to edit whatever look or feel you want to give to the camera. Because also the look or feel you give it makes it sells it, to the type of, because comedies. That's why you have dramas, you have comedies, and there's a look they have. So that's the C-logs, or rather.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask this. Like, you normally like these two. This one has got log. This one has got loot. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what does it mean shooting on log?
Doesn't mean shooting on log. It's basically like, you know, when you're shooting photos, you have RAW, you have JPEG, and you have what else? Another shooting format.
T4.
Yeah, shooting formats. So with log is the kind of RAW for this camera.
Okay.
And LAT is the kind of RAW for that camera.
Okay. Is it LAT? Is it loot? Potato.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that it means shooting RAW. What does shooting RAW in video mean?
What does shooting RAW in video mean? It's exactly the same thing as shooting photos RAW. Or let me explain. It all comes down to what colors you want to add to your video. It's better for you to shoot flat so that when you go into post, when you say you're editing, so you know the adjustment tones, like exposure, contrast. I would rather want to shoot an image that is balanced, so that when I go into tweaking it, I won't lose certain elements in other tones. Like I don't want to lose my highlights.
Yeah.
So I'd rather shoot it, because when you shoot it, like when it's already colored, you already locked yourself. You don't have, like if you want to make it blue, you can make it more bluer than what is. But if I shot it like it was raw, I don't know if you're getting me or...
Well, I'm following. Let's just say I'm following.
So it's still on the boat.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer like shooting flat videos. It basically gives you more leeway to color grade and color correct.
Okay. So when you're shooting in log or in loot, it means that you have the option. Basically, you're shooting with no color, but it has all the colors.
No color.
But it has all the colors within.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
flat.
It's flat.
Yeah. Like it's desaturated. It doesn't have. It's ugly to start with. But then that's where the power. You have so that's why you have an option now to make it whatever you want.
Okay. So if that is shooting in log or shooting raw, shooting in video raw specifically.
Yeah.
So then what is the difference between now somebody who's shooting when you're buying a camera and a camera has got 10 bit, like this has got 10 bit, these are 10 bit, these are 10 bit video. But then we have other video cameras which are 8 bit. So what is the difference between an 8 bit camera and a 10 bit camera?
The difference between an 8 bit camera and a 10 bit camera is the 10 bit is better, obviously. So when you say 10 bits, this refers to like the number of the colors that you get from the camera.
Okay.
From the number itself, a 10 bit seems like it has more power than 8 already.
Yeah.
Like the number of pixels you're getting is like 1.7 billion.
All the colors.
Yeah, of the colors.
Yeah.
Like pixels, the 1.7 billion.
1.7.
But like you can imagine.
Wow.
But like for 8 bits, that's like somewhere like 10 million. 16, let's say 16 million.
16 million.
And million to billion.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Which one would you rather have?
Definitely. The better colors are.
And that's what you have here.
Okay, good. And then probably something that I need to mention about these two cameras is as much as their quality is supposedly supposed to be the same. Okay, it's when you're using the lenses. If you're using with the black magic, you basically just use your normal Canon lens.
You're supposed to use a mount on this one.
Yeah, and then on the Canon, which I find it quite ironic.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do, you're basically just trying to set up the cameras so that you can see exactly what you're talking about in terms of the colors and all. Okay. So how does it feel?
Feels great. It's really good.
Okay.
So right from the bat, the image quality is really cool. It really looks cinematic. Don't know if you can see.
So maybe let's do this. Since that's a macro lens, maybe we can just shoot this lens. Okay. So people can actually see the kind of quality that you're talking about. Okay.
So it's being a macro. I don't know if you can see as the focus shifts, you can see everything very clearly.
Okay, nice. I love the depth of field.
Yeah. Do you think that's because of it's increased because of the lens we're using?
Definitely.
And
Because you're shooting at 2.8?
I'm shooting at 2.8.
Yeah, because if you're shooting at 2.8, definitely then your depth of field is going to be really high. But unless now you shoot with, maybe you shoot at f5.6, because that's where most normal lenses would be at. So like, can I get a shot of this camera? How does it feel? How does it handle?
It's quite okay. The sling on the left side of on the right side of the camera makes it kind of balanced. Plus, it has a wide base, which helps you to you can just lay your arm there, and it helps you gain support and stability. But generally, it feels really good. Yeah, for a video camera.
Okay, so let's see whether we can, because here I have the anamorphic Sirui lens. Let's see whether I can get okay. So now what you're doing is that this shot is what you're calling in LUT, meaning it's flat. So this is what you would get when you're shooting in RAW. These are raw format.
Yes.
So in video, when you're talking about raw format, this is exactly what they mean. It means that you're basically shooting with zero color in it. Okay. And then now the advantage is you can always change that. Let me get to. So this is how the same clip with color would look. Okay. And just so that. Let me try and get, okay, because this is not a macro lens, so it cannot really shoot things up close that sharp. But I love, the problem is that when you give somebody who's used to being behind the camera a camera, they tend to get a bit carried away.
Yeah.
So you should actually consider getting one of these two cameras. I believe that they are great. Like I said, today is really not a battle of which camera is superior than the other. It's more of you be the judge of what you would want to get as a camera for your everyday use or for your specific job task use. Right? I don't know if they have anything to add on, especially on this, because you haven't mentioned much about this.
The Blackmagic. If it came down to me choosing, my preference.
Yeah.
Which camera would I prefer? I think for this case, I'd prefer shooting with the C70. Because of the capabilities and it has more, I'd say it has more amenities as compared to the Blackmagic.
Okay.
When you come to the lens, being able to shoot with, I'm at loss of words. I've said this before. Like the capabilities you have on the endless as compared to this one. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Okay. So at which point would you actually consider using this? Using the black magic, because at the end of the day, it's normally a matter of there are different scenarios, and there are places where you definitely prefer to go with this over this, because they both have the same capabilities, to say the least, and their features are slightly just like, when it comes to the difference, it's basically just a little bit different. So,
like, say when I want to shoot, okay, I actually have a question.
Yes, please.
When you compare the battery sizes for the camera, the Canon, the battery size is larger as compared to the Blackmagic one.
Okay, let's see.
Does it mean that the battery capacity or the capability of the battery, which one do you think lasts longer?
Well, just with the battery, see, because this is 2000 megaamperes, and then this is 3000, 3100.
Okay.
So I think in terms of duration, it's probably like around 20 minutes to 30 minutes max difference.
Okay.
So size for me, let me just show you. So like the size, if you can have a look side by side, okay. So yeah, like the only difference is about 20 minutes difference in terms of shooting time. So I don't know whether that is a consideration for someone or not, but for me, I think 20 minutes, it's really not that big of a difference to make somebody pick this over this, because you can always get an upgrade version of the batteries. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the question I had. Okay, the other thing that also sells me to this camera is the ND filters. I think that's where they had me.
The ND filters.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's this thing I read about, like there's a mount called the speed booster.
Okay.
Like it multiplies the stops you get, so you can go lower.
Wow.
You can go higher. You can go higher and then use an ND filter, and still, like unaweza shoot ikiwa like at 1 point something, or like point something, na ni 12 with an ND filter, na image iko sawa.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Well, you could now. What it has done, it has basically just reduced the amount of accessories that you can, because you can even buy the ND filter, that specific ND filter for that.
That's exactly what it has done.
Yeah, because I know when if let's say if you're going to be shooting landscapes, okay, you can buy a dual ND filter, whereby half of your frame actually has got the ND filter and the other is normal. So that means that you'll still be able to get your clouds. You won't actually burn the clouds, and you still get So it's what they've done is just a shortcut of you not buying more accessories. But I think for some of these things, if you're in a position to, and if you understand it, they have taken things from manual to auto. Yeah, and that's where the digital world we're going to. We're moving from manual things to automated things. But then, is that the right move?
To some extent, yes. To some extent.
For me, I'm not too biased about it, because I think I ride a manual bike. I probably wouldn't touch an automatic bike. But it's just but we'd still get to the same point with somebody who's on an automatic. So it's a matter of preference. For me, it's all a matter of preference and what one would want to achieve from it. So having an ND filter, if that is a very big component for you to decide, then because even this one has got its ND filter, probably not as high as it, but like I said, today it's basically just showing you what is available and you deciding what you want.
Yeah, what about being able to shoot full frame at 120 FPS?
Yeah, both of them can shoot at 120 frames per second.
And I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
This one is not cropped.
No, neither of them is cropped.
So saying that if I'm shooting, like say, like a full body image,
Yeah.
like just here with a super wide lens,
Yeah, a 14
we'll
mm.
get the
Same crop clearance.
Wow.
Same crop clearance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
As in terms of what this camera can do, this camera can do. The biggest difference would probably come in now in the size, the type of accessories, because you can see like on top, right here on top, here you have it's not a cold shoe, but it's just a thread. But over here we have got the option of putting on a thread or a hot shoe or a cold shoe. In that case, because you can't put a hot shoe over there. And in terms of the base is basically just the same. Weight, this is definitely way lighter. Okay. Audio, like you said, audio it's the same. Audio is the same thing. It's just that this one now you cannot really tap into the different settings of the audio. You cannot really regulate it as you would. But if you are, I normally say when you're starting to shoot at a particular level, then there are things that are a plus if you have, but then even if you don't have, it really doesn't matter because it has to be catered for separately. Because something like sound, it's good to just have enough sound on the camera because you have to record the sound separately. When you're getting to this kind of voice, then you definitely need to have somewhere else where you're recording sound. So sound is really not a very big issue for me to consider. And the fact that I can shoot photos on this, I cannot shoot photos on that. It's kind of a plus minus depending. The screen definitely, because now with this one, most of the time you'll definitely need to have an external screen to see better. And
as long as its own monitor.
Yeah, this is it. Literally, this like honestly, just look at this. Look at how big this monitor is.
Compared to,
yeah, come on. Like this is father child kind of. This is a father child kind of relationship, you know. And then I like how clean they have just let it be. You know, it's very clean. And then it's touch. Yeah, the screen itself is a touch screen. So yeah, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us and to join us and to listen. So I hope next week you shall be able to join us as we discuss more about photography and video. In case you have got any questions concerning photography or video, kindly get into our inbox or give us a call and join our DM and just tell us this and this are the issues that I'm having with my camera, this and this are what I would like to achieve with my camera, and then we can see how we help you. We can even just make a whole new show for you. Okay, so do that, and then in the coming few months, just so that I can give you an idea of what is going to be happening, is we're going to be having master classes to teach you on different things about photography and video. So stay tuned here, and we shall be giving you more updates as from next week as to when we're going to have our first master class and what it's going to be, what it's going to be about, because these are things that you have asked us to help you with. So until next week, kwaherini.